What's up, you guys? Back with another video, and inside of this one I'm going to be explaining to you guys the top 5 things and lessons that I've learned after making millions of dollars at a young age. I've also employed a lot of people, helped a lot of other people change their lives as well, and I'm still a long way from where I want to be. I've got so many goals, so many things I want to achieve, but so far along this journey, these are 5 things that I've already learned and 5 things that I think literally anybody who's getting started as a beginner or even an advanced person can take some insight from. So number 1 is the journey is the destination. And what I mean by that is the journey you're going to be on when you're chasing success, when you're trying to do your own thing, when you're trying to build your first business or get something going. That journey is the journey that once you start it, you're always on it. And what I mean by this is there's going to be no time where you just hit a certain point in that journey and feel like, oh, this is it, I'm done, I'm just doing this, right? The journey continually moves up, like the goal, right? The bar, the standard, right? A lot of times when you're on the beginning of the journey, you start to think, oh, once I have this much or once I do this, it's gonna be enough. And then you get to that step and you're like, oh, now I got to do this. Now I want to do this, because at each step, new things become possible that you didn't know were possible before. So the journey you're on is going to continue to go. Even if you think there's some point that you're trying to reach and once you get there, it's over. That's not how life works. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about your goals, what you want to do, the things you want to do, the people you want to inspire, the family you might want to have in the future. All those things are milestones that are going to keep going. It's a journey that you're going to keep walking on. So the journey doesn't have it's not a destination. The journey is forever. And that's why I wrote down in my notebook this morning, the journey is the destination, because the destination a lot of you guys are looking for is the journey. That's the whole goal, is to live a life where you're continually along a journey that you enjoy and that you're excited for and that keeps you up in the morning, right? The minute you lose that journey is the minute, or that drive to chase that journey or follow that journey is the minute you lose yourself, right? So the journey is the destination. So whatever stage you're at in your journey or on your journey, don't worry or don't think that, oh, this is just the grind part that I can't enjoy. You want to enjoy the journey, because this journey is something that you'll be on forever. I've never reached a point or had a time where I was like, oh, I'm just done now, right? And that's because the journey just keeps going and new things become possible at each level and you keep wanting more and more and more. Number 2 is the golden handcuffs. What I mean by the golden handcuffs is something I realized after I got a little bit of money and was able to buy some of the things that I kind of always wanted. And what the golden handcuffs are is essentially becoming your own prison, right? To where you get some money, you start buying a car. I'll give you an example. You buy an expensive car, you buy an expensive house, you buy some expensive jewelry, some watches, you buy, stuff for whatever it is, whatever you want to do, whatever your hobbies are. You buy stuff for painting, you buy stuff for, whatever you want to do. You spend a lot of money on things because now you have money to spend. At a certain point, these things become much like handcuffs, right? Because you feel like you have to use them. You feel like they're a thing that you have to now take care of. Or for example, with a big house, you realize, oh shit, if you get this big house and you don't use 80% of it 80% of the time, and you're only using 20% of the house, or only taking your car out every couple days, but you still have to deal with all the maintenance for it, all the cleaning of the house, all the everything for 100% of it all the time. You almost become handcuffed to these things. You see a lot of really successful people get in this position. They'll make a lot of money and then they'll buy so much and get so many things that they lose their sense of freedom, because they have to be at this house to clean this, or they have to be, dealing with this pet or dealing with this thing. And I know it sounds like, oh, nice problem to have. Like if you have, too much stuff, what a nice problem to have. But it's more so something that you should kind of try to, in my opinion, avoid. Try to, I would say, live as minimalist for as much as possible. If you're somebody like me who really, doesn't need too much, right? Obviously, if you have a family and you need a big house and you need a big car and these things, go do them. But if you don't need it, don't get it. Because if you just get stuff because you can afford it now and you don't use it, you're gonna it's gonna sit in the back of your head like I have so many things, like 3D printers, carpet making stuff, like all sorts of random hobbies that I've wanted to get into, like had one idea one night, bought all the shit on it for Amazon, bought all the stuff for the hobby on Amazon. It comes to my house and then I just never use it. And it's like, now it just sits in the back of my head and I'm like, dude, I got that thing so long ago and I still haven't figured out how to use it, da 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 da. And it almost creates like this sort of like, it makes you like handcuffed to taking care of these things that you might not even end up using or might not even have the time to put into working with, right? So it's like, I mean, I've got tons of things, heat presses, 3D printers, all these things that I just didn't end up using, but I bought because I was, in a position at the time where I could afford it. I had, oh, this is a cool idea and I got it. Now, I'm not saying I'm not grateful for those things, right? I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to, get things that you like, but just be wary of it because it could just turn you into, the golden handcuffs where you feel like you're handcuffed by things that don't even really matter to you. But since you financially invested in them, you feel some type of way about the fact that they just collect dust and you don't use them. So the golden handcuffs is a real thing. Try to only get what you need, not just what you want. Don't just be buying everything you want. Buy things you need and you're actually going to use that would actually benefit you. Next is take care of you first. And what I mean by this is once you start making money or once you start having things work for you, you're going to have a lot of people who come around and you're going to be around a lot more people just because you're going to have more access to things. You're going to be more excited to talk to people because you feel like you're doing good yourself. You're going to, be more excited to maybe reconnect with people who you used to know, all sorts of stuff. My point is there's going to be more people in your life. And since you now have access to these funds, you're going to be wanting to help other people. You're going to be wanting to either show other people how to get these funds, or you're going to want to be showing, or you're going to want to be just, straight up helping people, like just, hey, paying for this person's lunch, paying for this person's that, helping out this person if they ask, giving this person, their pay early or whatever it is, you guys. There's going to be situations where you feel like you can help out. And that's a beautiful thing. You should help out people you love. But do not do that before you take care of yourself. And I learned this the hard way because once I started having something work, I kind of forgot about everything personally because so many people were telling me like, oh, good job, like congratulations, good job, good work, good work, good work. And you just get in your head, like you just start thinking like, oh, maybe I don't have to keep like working on stuff personally. Maybe I don't have to keep like taking time for myself. Maybe I should focus it all towards, just working on other people and working with other people and, helping the other people around me. But if you don't continue to take care of yourself in the process of you taking care of other people, you will lose yourself and then you'll no longer be able to take care of those other people. And a lot of the times in the moment, this might be hard. I'll give you an example. If somebody really needs help with something and, they're asking you, hey, can you please come over tomorrow and can you please help me with this and da-da-da. But you have a, gym session scheduled tomorrow and you go to the gym every day, but they want you just for one day to come over and help them out. But you go to the gym every day at the time they want you to come over. If you bend you going to the gym, if you say, okay, I'm just not going to go to the gym tomorrow and I'm going to go help this person out instead, versus saying like, hey, I can't do that because I'm going to the gym right now and we can do this, later or earlier. If you just break your plan, your self-care routine for other people, even one time, it's going to make you consistently do this over and over and over and over again. And soon you'll feel like, oh, I'm doing so much good for other people, even though you're really not, because you're going to run yourself dry and then you're not going to be able to do anything for other people, right? So don't run yourself dry by trying to help others before you're helping yourself. Right? Successful people and people who do this right, they take care of themselves, and with the extra time they have, with the extra, ability they have outside of taking care for themselves, they help others. But make sure you do not lose yourself in that process. Super important. Next one is delegation is key to Delegation is key to, I wrote that, so my handwriting's so bad, you guys. Look at my handwriting. It's just, delegation is key to scale. So what this means is that delegating things is the real key to actually scaling something past, wherever you're currently at, right? If you have a business running and you want to get further, the way to get further is to delegate, right? It's to see what you're doing every day. For example, if you're the owner of the business and you're doing all your marketing, or you're doing all your, email list, or you're doing all your, SMS marketing, or doing all your books, whatever it is. You need to start delegating these things to other people. Start finding people who could do these things for you, so then that frees up your time to go focus on other things, right? For example, once you have the marketing down for your company, now you're going to want to hire somebody who you can teach how to do that marketing, and then they can go do the marketing for you, so you can go as the owner and focus on something new, right? Or for example, email campaigns. If you're sending a newsletter every single day or something out to your subscribers on your email list for your business, learn how to do that right, so then you can train somebody. You have to learn how to do it yourself first, right? So in the beginning, delegation, sorry, my cat just walked in front of the camera, but in the beginning, delegation isn't possible because you have to learn what is right? And then once you learn how to do it correctly, whatever that thing is, now you can go train somebody on how to do it. And as soon as you feel like you know how to do something correctly, that's when you should go train somebody on how to do it for you and have them take it over. There's been lots of times in my business journey where I've delegated and I've had things just go insanely smooth. And there's been times where I've delegated and I've had things just go completely south. And the difference was, if you're trying to delegate something that you don't understand, for example, if you don't know how to make viral TikTok videos and you're trying to hire somebody to make viral TikTok videos for you, it's going to be hard for you to actually hire them effectively and actually delegate that effectively, because you don't even know how to do it yourself. So you don't know how to monitor this person. You don't know what type of advice to give them or what type of things to tell them to actually have you help out your business, right? Unless there's some professional in that niche and they have, a track record of similar competitors maybe of yours that they've worked with that they can show you. But most times you're going to want to learn it first. But as soon as you learn how to do that thing, go and delegate it to somebody else so you can free up your time to focus on another thing. Next is perspective is everything. This is a really important one because I feel like it's the realest one out of anything on this list, and the most important for people to understand is that the way you see things is sprouting mainly from the way you think of the world and the way you view everything around you. Like, there's been times in my life where stuff with business has been going great, but I've personally felt like crap. And there's been times where stuff with business was going horrible and I personally felt amazing, right? And that's what tells you it's not all about just the accolades or the things you're achieving in life. It's also about the perspective you have, or mainly about the perspective you have on the things you're achieving. So if you think that, life is just, you're meant to get all these good things in life and da-da-da-da-da-da, this is all just meant for you, and, I'm deserving of all these things, and, the world owes me this. If you have that type of mindset, then when good things happen to you, you're not going to be grateful. You're going to be expecting, right? Versus if you have the mindset of, oh, hey, I'm so grateful for this life every day. I'm so grateful for what I have already. And then you have something good happen to you. You're going to be, even more grateful. You're going to fill your life with gratitude, and you're going to move around in a, more happy state. It's the same person, but two different perspectives. One person acts like they expect this, and the other person is grateful for every single thing that comes their way, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. And that's why perspective matters. Another example would be like, if you have $1 million, right? There's certain people out there who are going to want, say, oh, $1 million, I need 2 mil, I need 3 mil, I need 4 mil, I need 5 mil, right? And then there's certain people out there that will look at $1 million and they will say, wow, this is, this changed my life. I, now want to get more, but I'm grateful for what I have, right? So don't just be the person that continually looks past what you currently have in trying to have more in the future. This is something I suffer from a lot. Like, a lot of times I'll get to a certain goal and I won't really sit there and be grateful for it. I'll just move on to the next thing. I'll be like, oh, that's great, but let's do this now, let's do that now, let's do this now, let's do this. When really taking a second just to be grateful for what you've been able to achieve, the things you've been able to learn, and what God has given you up to this point is a really, really powerful emotion, and something that you could use to further motivate you to do more great things, right? Versus just continually burning out on this hamster wheel of, oh, next. Take a second to smell the roses, enjoy the fruits of your labor, because nobody else is going to do that for you. And if you don't, you'll go your whole life, and then all of a sudden at the end of it, you'll realize, I kept putting off, my gratitude until this certain point, and now I'm dead, right? You don't want to put off your gratitude until right before you die. Be grateful for each and every day. And I've started practicing this by just, getting up in the morning, reading the Bible every day, doing a little journaling, stuff like that, just to remember, hey, even though I have more goals, even though I want to do more, yesterday we did this, and this was so awesome because it got us closer to this goal, or this was so amazing. And as you become grateful, you'll notice that more things will be brought to you in your life. Fate and the universe will bring you more good. So those are the main 5 things. Hope you enjoyed that video. Like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.